Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel. And the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. And I got some therapy for you guys. Oh boy, do I have some therapy for you guys. Another great weekly recap. I've got lots of stuff to go over. We got some new paper that I want to show you. We got three new inks. And those inks, I'm just so surprised that I didn't already have them in my collection. But you know what, folks? You never have enough inks, right? There's thousands of them, and even though I have hundreds of bottles, I missed those three. So I'm looking forward to showing them to you. We got some pens, we got some writing instruments, we've got YouTube reviewers that are brand new that I'd like to introduce to the channel. And of course, we're going to have my currently inked and my weapons for next week. So without any further ado, here is, and you know what, folks, we're already in the month of June. Wow, time goes by. Here is the weekly recap for June the 1st, 2025. Okay, so let's jump right in. The first segment is going to be what's new in the market. And here's what I've got to show you right away. Let's deal with Chinese pens, shall we? As we usually do. So let me switch to my computer. Here we go. First thing, Mahjong. Well, Mahjong's in the news these days, right? We've got the P140, and stay tuned, I did receive it, the new P140. And now in the P139, what I've noticed is that you've got this brand new offering. They call it the Black Rock, I believe. Be careful because you got number 6 size and number 8 size, so you got to make sure you switch on. For example, this is number 6, okay? And there is number 8 as well. Then you've got some of them that only offer number 8. Okay, so be careful. Make sure you order the right one. What else have I got for you? That's again the Black Rock. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. Is that I mentioned last week that you can get some very nice Japanese pens on AliExpress at very reasonable prices. And this week, I'd like to show you this one. This is the Pilot 742, and you've got a series of nibs. Look at that. They're not all available, but most of them are. So at 255 Canadian. I checked, and that is really a good price. So, and in American, it may even be less. Now, you've got to, factor in, but it looks like it's free shipping, okay? So again, I think it's an interesting thing to look at, that maybe you do have even Japanese and brand name pens on AliExpress, and I've noticed that the Japanese pens do appear. Last week I saw the 74, and this week we have this 742. Now what else is in the news? Okay. 1 second. Okay, what's in the news is Asvine C2000. You remember that they had come out with the Asvine 2000 with the stabilized wood. There were problems with drying nib issues. They figured out the problem. They sold gaskets to fix that, and the gaskets do work. But now you've got a brand new offering, and you've got these ebonite Asvine 2000. Now the price is a little hefty, I find, at $115. I've never really seen a Asvine pen at that price. The options are blue, green, and brown, and your nibs are extra fine, fine, medium, and stub. I did order the blue one, so I should be getting that soon. Here it is. That's the blue one. Very nice, by the way. It looks like it's going to be a very nice pen. For those of you who don't like this Asvine branding on the cap, it looks like it's still there, so they haven't changed their mind. And I also asked Asvine store whether or not the C80, because I haven't seen it, they had said to me that it would be coming out in the month of May. Well, we're now June the 1st. I haven't seen it, but apparently it should be up for sale, at least in the Etsy store, sometime very, very soon. So that's what I've got there. Now, what else have I got for you? Casa Stilografica as an interesting new pen. By the way, take a look at this Leuchtturm pen or gel pen. I think I'm going to get one. It's very attractive. I like the fact that the pen looks like a pencil. Got some beautiful Delta offerings there, but they have this brand new Leonardo primary manipulation, the Vesuvius. I'm really tempted, folks, to get this one for two reasons. One, it's primary manipulation, and it's Vesuvius, and that's where I come from. So, you know what? I might just very well finally get a Leonardo. I've been shopping for Leonardos for a while and hesitating, but I may go for this one. What else have we got here? Oh, Stile's got this brand new TWSBI. Again, TWSBI Echo is coming out with different colors, a little bit like Safari. Personally, you've seen one, you've seen them all, but some of you may be interested in collecting different colors or may like this color. They've come out with TWSBI, the matcha green, as they call it. What else have I got? Pen Chalet, did they have anything interesting that I wanted to show you? Yeah, they got the Visconti Mirage Mythos. You've got two more additions to that collection. Appleboom's got this pen, folks. Okay, there's a little bit of a story to this. This is called the Delta Magic 4 Napoli. For those of you who are soccer fans, you may or may not know, and certainly the Italians should know, if you are soccer fans, that is, that Naples won the Italian championship. And I remember Nino Marino putting up a little video about, the Napolitans were celebrating their victory in the streets. And, I wrote back to Nino. I said, it's going to take a pen, Nino. And I think 2 days later, the pen was out. So I think he was working on it. Here it is. The Delta Magic 4. 4 stands for the fact that they won the championship 4 times. And you got it both in blue. That's really the color, the brand, the color of Naples, and even their uniforms. It's that blue, beautiful blue. And they've got it both in the gold nib and in the steel nib. A little expensive, I find, at 200 without tax, 240 euros. But it's Naples, and it does commemorate the victory. So that's another pen for me to consider. Now, do I have anything else? Oh, Atlas Stationers, I notice, has these brand new inks from Colorverse. They're USA. They have the Cornfield, the Columbus Green, the Great Salt Lake, the Leaf Peeping, New Hampshire, Oklahoma. I believe these are brand new, or at least they're new arrivals at Atlas Stationers. But those of you who like Colorverse inks, well, that should be something that should interest you. Do I have anything else? Oh, I did want to mention, no, we're going to deal with Shanghai Knife Dude in my YouTube review section. So, I'm back. One of the things that happens when you publish or prepare your videos ahead of time is that sometimes brand new things come up and you can miss them. And I didn't want you guys to miss them this week. So I just spliced in this edition. I realized that Pen BBS, after I'd finished my video, I realized that Pen BBS 556 is now available on AliExpress. Here it is. I'm not sure how much of a novelty this is. It looks like a déjà vu. It comes in this transparent, just a demo look, a semi-transparent, some green. We've seen that particular acrylic before. This galaxy color we've seen before as well. And then they have this one. This is the one I've ordered. One thing that I noticed, if you want gold trim, it only comes in fine. But if you get it in silver, you also have the option of that round medium nib that Pen BBS is known for. Frankly, those nibs, I've got plenty of them, so I figure I'm going to order this one because I like the color. And then, I can always replace the fine nib if I don't like it. And they also have, calligraphy nibs that you can buy separately. A little expensive, but you can buy them separately if that suits your fancy. So there you have it. I thought I'd mention that because it's just kind of snuck in right at the last minute. There you go. So that's it for what's new in the market. Stay tuned for my next segment. We'll take a look at what's new in the Fountain Pen Studios. Be right back. Okay, so what's new in the Fountain Pen Studios? Well, let's start with some paper, okay? I was surprised that, as you know, and we'll go to my overhead camera. I want to show you something. This is the notepad that I have quite a few of these, but I'm running out. This is purchased on Nanami paper. You may find them in my store, my storefronts in Amazon as well, or at least there's some Nanami paper products on Amazon. And I went to order more of these notebooks or notepads. These are notepads that have the original Tomoe River paper. And they had run out at one point, and I went to order, and I realized now they no longer deliver or ship to Quebec, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I don't know if they ship in any other province, but it doesn't work. I wrote to Nanami Paper, explained who I am, and that I'm a very loyal fan, and that I'm pushing their store, and can they make an exception and deliver it to me? I've not heard from them. It's been several days, which is most disconcerting. Having said that, we'll see if they answer. If they don't answer, I'll get back to you guys, because that's not very professional if they don't. But so then, as an alternative, I checked out Nanami YAMAMOTO paper. Now, you've seen these before. If you haven't, you should check these out. The YAMAMOTO paper have, again, I like this because for swatching, the notepads are a little more convenient. And they have 3 products here. You've got, there we go. Okay. So they have these, the A5 cents in Tomoe River. Okay, so it's very nice. They have the bank paper, and this bank paper, from what I understand, they're pretty soon, it's no longer going to be available. And then they have the Cosmo Air Light, which, as we know, is no longer available. So I have these 3 pads, but they also have this one, and this is the one we're going to take a look at this week. I actually ordered 4 of these just to replace what I couldn't purchase at Nanami Paper. So here they are. I've ordered 4. I believe I got this from Zaf Pens, but they are available several places, including on Etsy, and it all depends. I found that some of the places charged me a little bit too much for shipping. It did turn out to be quite expensive because of the shipping, but you know what? I ordered 4, so I kind of, because of the volume, I kind of saved there. And what I propose to do is, I mean, this is supposed to be the original Tomo River, as opposed to the Sanson one. So I want to see what the difference is between this one and the Nanami paper one. So those are the two that we're going to be looking at this week. And in the back, they do have some YAMAMOTO paper writing pad series is a collection of writing pads. That's correct. Okay, they're bragging about their store. Having said that, there you have it. So we will compare these two. Now, the pads themselves I find are really, really interesting. Very nice. First of all, they come with this nice guide, okay? The paper, I'm trying to figure out, it's 52 GSM. Okay, it's 52. And I believe that this one is 52 as well. So we're on equal footing, as they say. We'll compare, and it's very nice. It's a pad, but works out really nicely with the grid. Sometimes it's more convenient to use a notepad as opposed to a notebook. So there you have it, especially when I do some swatching. So this week, these are going to be the two papers. That's the paper I'd like to introduce to you. And we will do some swatching next. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. And I mentioned in my opening introduction that I was surprised that I did not have these 3 inks in my collection. Now, for those of you who follow Hemingway Jones, he goes crazy for this Éclat de Saphir. And I was always very curious. I knew I didn't have this one. I said, I wonder why he finds this ink such a great ink. So I said, what am I waiting for? I've got literally hundreds and hundreds of bottles, and I don't have Éclat de Saphir from Jacques Arbin. So when I went to order it, I said, you know what? Why don't I get Bleu Pervenche, which looks like it's going to be a lighter blue, and a green Vert Empire. So these are the 3 inks that I propose for you guys this week. So I've got my water. I'm all set. Oh, one thing I did want to show you. Where are we here? Yeah. In terms of my instruments, I've gone through several of these, okay? You've seen me do some of the swatching and the writing of the swatch with this nib. It's supposed to be a glass nib but put in a normal fountain pen body, if you will. But I found that this nib is probably plastic, and it just didn't absorb enough ink. The ink just slides right off, and I don't get too many words in. This is so far one of the best. This is the Kakamori nib. I find that nib, that when you dip it, there's a lot of ink that gets dipped. This, of course, is my folded pen that does the swatching. This is a Sailor nib. And last week I mentioned I didn't like it because it doesn't retain that much ink. But some of you pointed out that they do sell a feed that goes with this, where you're able to retain a little more ink. So I think I'm going to get the feed. Otherwise, this thing is practically useless. You've seen me use this one. It's got a glass body, but it's got that, the regular kind of dip pens, nibs, okay? And what I propose, this is one of my glass pens. We're going to use this glass pen this week. I don't think you guys have seen this in a little while. So we'll do the glass pen this week. Let me take my folded pen. That will be the swatch. And, okay, so. And we'll see what gives. Come on, guys. Cooperate. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's do Éclat de Saphir first. if you will. Okay. You know, standard bottles. They actually have the little, notch there that you could put your pen. Okay, so should I shake this? Well, let's do that. I'm not sure whether or not this is it's not a shimmer ink, but whether or not it has some sheening properties. Whoa, that was nicely shut. I see. It's kind of a royal blue, eh? So we only got 3 inks, so we'll do a nice big swatch here. Wow. Ha! I can understand why Hemingway goes crazy over this ink. That is really nice. Notice a little bit of a difference. Let's just hope that they're not selling this as the original Tomoe River when in fact it's Sanson. If it's Sanson, I'll be able to... No, don't shut that. You need to write this. Okay. So, sorry about that. Let's see how this pen works out. So this is the G Urbain Éclat. There's an accent on the E. De Saphir. And we will write a little more. As you can see, you can get away with quite a few words. I'm running out now. Okay, just barely finished. Okay, let's see what this YAMAMOTO paper does. Well, I don't feel the scratchiness of Sanson. So far, so good. Very nice ink. Wow. I can now, I think I appreciate it a little more why our friend Hemingway Jones goes head over heels over this ink. In his last show, he showed us that he bought actually this huge, let me just take a sip of my espresso. He showed us that he bought this huge bottle. Why not? He uses it quite often, so I guess it's a little more economical and it's easier to ink your pens as well. Okay, I noticed that the other one wasn't full as much as this one. It kind of reached here, whereas this one is right to the top, which is nice. There we go. Wow. Wow. And as I usually do, I will be inking some pens with this 3 inks so that we'll get a little bit of a better idea how they write with an actual fountain pen. So again, this is G. Urbain. I really like this ink. The color anyway. And this is Bleu. Pervenche. I think I'm just going to get enough. These glass pens are fun, but very uncomfortable. You can't write very, long sessions with this, that's for sure. And if you notice that I'm a little sluggish, you'll forgive me. I just played a golf game for 4 hours. So maybe a little bit dehydrated. And wow, didn't finish. Wonder if that's an indication that maybe this Bleu Pervenche is a drier ink. I hope not, because I don't like dry inks. Okay, so that's Bleu Pervenche. And now we have Vert Empire. So, let's see what this green... Let me see if the bottle is full. See, again, this one's a little bit... The other one was not, which is not nice if they took ink out of this bottle. Oh, this is a dark green. Very nice. I like dark green. You know, any of these inks I would use in an office setting. I would not hesitate to use them in an office setting. Okay, so Jacques Herbin, Vert Empire. And let me see if I can get fountain pen therapy in it. Good. Just made it. This is Jacques Herbin. I can tell you that this ink as well, it's not as... I like the Éclat de Saphir. I think it's going to be a fun ink. I like the color of Bleu Pervenche, but I'm suspecting that both Bleu Pervenche and Vert Empire may be just a little bit drier in terms of flow. But we shall see. We shall see when they get into a real fountain pen. And, you know, I'll write with them all week. So I'll come back if I noticed that there's something. So here are the three inks. This is the paper. So far, I like the comparison. It looks like that this may actually be the real thing, which is absolutely fantastic. So, you know what? Let's see what gives when everything is dry. Okay, this is as patient as I will be. Oh, we've got them turned around here. We don't want to mix anybody up. So this is what I know is original Tomoe River. And this is what I hope is Tomoe River. You know, I read some indications here, and it's not clear. I hope they have not misled me. But let's compare, okay? When I compare these two, they look pretty much the same thing. And Sanson is a little bit different. Sanson always kind of gives a little more punch to the inks. But here, I would say to you that we're talking about potentially the same paper. So I'm happy that it is. In terms of the inks, they're pretty straightforward inks. I don't see any sheening or any major... There's a little bit of shading with the Bleu Pervenche. The Éclat de Saphir is a standard straight-up ink. Same thing with Vert Empire. And I will ink some pens with these inks later on, and we'll kind of put them to the test. And maybe we'll use this paper just to see, because if it's Sanson, I will recognize it immediately. Okay, so that completes the swatching therapy. Be right back. Okay, so we've done the paper, we've done the ink. What about some writing instruments? What have I got for you this week? Well, go to my overhead camera and I'll show you what I've received. Okay, some time ago, I had purchased these three pens. They're kind of a no-name EDC, everyday carry sort of a proposition. Really nice pens. I got to tell you, very well priced. Is this turn? Yeah. You have a kind of a roller ball there. Okay. All in ultim. You've got a titanium clip, which is very nice. So that's the ballpoint. That's the ballpoint or roller ball. This is the actual fountain pen. It's got a Schmidt nib, which is always very nice. They write very, very well. Again, all of ultim, nicely priced. And then I had this little pocket pen, which I found very interesting as well. All made in ultim with a number 5 Schmidt nib. And I use these pens quite often, especially I just want to throw them in the bag. They're not expensive. Then that ultim material is really, really, it withstands all kinds of grind, etc., etc. What I found is the same manufacturer came out with the titanium version of that pocket pen, as you could see. It is similar, if not identical. It may be a little bit bigger, but you know what? It's pretty identical. It's got the same kind of style with that finial, okay? And it's an EDC. Now, this one here, when you need to cap it, it was kind of a little bit loose. And the way I fixed it is that I would put the clip further down and would keep it from slipping. We'll see whether or not I have the same problem with the titanium pen. So this is the titanium pen. Very nice so far, I got to tell you. Very similar to the other one. Again, it's got that Schmidt number 5 nib. If I open it up, it's even got a converter, small one, but nonetheless cheaper kind of style, but very functional. Okay, and we're going to ink this up later on, or maybe we'll do it right now. And very nice titanium. Now, does it? Okay, this one sits there a little bit better. Very heavy, of course. But now, I'm hoping this is titanium and not, because last time I ordered that cacao pen. Do I have it? Not too far? Yeah. Last week I showed you this one. I thought this was a titanium pen when I ordered it, but it's plastic. It's titanium gray, but it's a plastic pen. By the way, I did not recommend you buy this pen, but the nib is really nice. So I guess that's the trade-off. Very nice. I think what I'll do is I'll interrupt this video for 30 seconds. We'll ink this up with, we'll put in that bleu prévenche in here and see what gives. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. By the way, I've introduced I have so many journals that I don't use. So I've introduced into my lineup a new journal. One of my viewers said, you should mention what ink you have in your pens. And oftentimes I can't because I don't remember. So what I've started is inks in my pens journal, started May 30th. This journal will keep track of the inks I use with each pen I ink. We'll also keep track of the timeline, how long it was inked. And we'll also give a brief outline of what I think of the ink. So that's what I'm going to do with this journal. And I did start with the Lamy 2000. I had inked that pen during the week. Now we'll do this one. So this is the, let me just put in the, so this is the, I'm going to say no name EDC pocket pen. In titanium, Schmidt fine nib number 5, and the ink is Jacques Herbin Bleu Pervenche. Yeah, it's not a, a gusher of an ink. And here we'll put June the 1st, 2025. There we go. We're just going to put dry flow. Okay. Now this is with a fine nib, and we'll try out some other nibs later to see what gives. Okay, so that's the EDC pen. Now, what else have I got for you? I did mention to you that I got let me just take this out. Yeah, I did get the P140. I'm going to do a full-fledged review of that pen, so stay tuned for that. But I did want to show it to you. Here it is. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a 149 essentially, I think. So it's not a 139 transparent, if you will. It's a 140. That's a separate model, completely different. With the cigar shaped, very much like the. This is my Montblanc 149, and it's a little bit bigger. And we'll do comparisons in my actual review. But the fun part about it is that you could see those brass trimmings in the piston, and very nice, all the gold trimmings, and it's got that beautiful number 8 nib. So, but you can see in terms of size, I've got a bunch of Majon products here, right here. It's the Sailor King of Pen is just slightly bigger, but it is bigger than the 149, and maybe the same size as the C5, which, by the way, I love. But I decided this week that I'm going to take out a bunch of Majon pens. So we'll take a look at these a little bit later on. But, one of the nice things about this one was the acrylic. It is so crystal clear, and I think it's got the same category of clear acrylic, which I really like. So there you have it. I got the 140. Now, what else did I get? Well, you saw this. I got the B25. I thought I ordered the fountain pen, and then one of my viewers who noticed it on the screen, because I had my order sheet from my computer, noticed, hey, you ordered the ballpoint or the or the gel pen. And that's what I did. That's what I ordered. But that's okay, because these days, I've kind of expanded my repertoire. And I'm looking at other writing instruments other than fountain pen, so that's fine. No, I can't write here, but I will write in this notebook. This is that Chinese notebook, by the way, which I find very, very nice. So this is the Majon. Wow. B25 gel. I don't know if it's a ballpoint or I can never tell. Okay, it's that Schmidt ceramic roller 8888. Yeah, it's kind of a very, very wet and smooth line, I can tell you. Even with this fine nib, writes very nicely. Equals a fountain pen, I would say. You have a very similar, very, very, very similar kind of writing experience. So I'm happy with this. And maybe we'll order the fountain pen as well. And maybe I'll order the real thing to compare. We'll see. We'll see. It's on the list. So that's another acquisition. What else have I got for you this week? Oh, yes. Bought this. One of the reasons I did it is it's a lead pencil because of that 3.0 lead right in front. But I got to tell you, this is pretty cheap stuff. I mean, everything fell apart when I got it. I was trying to push that lead down, and when I did, it all came apart. So, I mean, if you see this on AliExpress, don't buy it. It's very cheap. But you know what? I like that pencil. So this, I don't know what they call it, but it's a pencil. But take a look how thick. It's a 3.0 lead, which I like. Can't write with a 0.5 or even a 0.7. I can't write with those because I will just break the nib. I press on it so much. But it looks nice, but very cheap quality. But I like the lead. And they sent me a bunch of leads that came with it. And I don't know, I think I paid this $7 or $8. So no major loss. But again, just to add a pencil to my, collection, fountain pen and a gel or ballpoint pen, or a roller ball. So there you have it. Oh, I knew I forgot something. Take a look at this, folks. I was cleaning up and I found a box, kind of a plastic pen case that I thought, I have this plastic pen case where, let me just put on my face here. Yeah, I got a plastic pen case that I thought I had a bunch of cheap Jinhao Mont Blanc fakes. There's all kinds of garbage in there, okay? And I also use it to keep some of the small bottles of ink, okay? And I said, let me take a look at what I've got in these boxes. I took a look, and lo and behold, I found something very interesting. Let me go to my overhead camera, and I'll show you. You never know what you have. Here it is. Now, I put it in a nice drawer, but I found a bunch of pens. Some are roller balls, some are ballpoints. I bought these like 20, 30 years ago. This is a kind of a multiple nibs or refills. You have the pencil, the blue, the 0.5, and the red. And depending on how you turn the knob, a different refill will come out. I have this, I think they call it the Zeppo, or no, it's an Italian Zoppini, yeah. Zoppini ballpoint, okay. This is kind of a cheap, in the old days, it wasn't, we used to use this for our computer, for our iPad. These days, and I think it has a little bit of I think it has a flashlight as well, but I forget where I got it, but I think this was a gift at some event. But then take a look at this. I have this beautiful cross, which is a nice pen. Then I found this Waterman. Again, ballpoint or rollerball. Very nice. I didn't even know I had it. This is actually an Aurora. I had bought this on Katawiki. A kind of a 5 or 6 pens all at once. But this is an Aurora. Rollerball. Beautiful. And then a bunch of Lammies here. Take a look at this one. This is a Lammy that has, depending on how you turn it, it will either come out as blue, the blue refill, or the red refill, or the pencil. So that's a Lammy. And then I got 2 more Lammies here. Take a look at this. These are roller balls. I don't know why this is sticky. I try to wash it, and I think washing it makes it even stickier. It's just the material. Same thing with this blue one. But I found that very interesting. So now I've got, 3 Lammies here. Got that beautiful cross. This is another cross, which goes this way. I can't find a refill for it, so I've got to order some. But again, very nice. And another Waterman. A Waterman. Thin, but he writes beautifully. So there you go. And then I found these 2 things. And I did want to show you how they write. So let me just get my notebook again. Yeah, then maybe we'll do it. Do I have anything empty here? No. Okay, so we'll put it here. Found this platinum pen. Now, somebody had said to me, do you have the platinum? Now I forget what they asked. I thought I did. It was some, cheaper platinum model. And I thought I had it, but because it was this. But this is a platinum, and I just can't find what the model is. It's not a Prosecco. It's not, I have no idea what it is. Here's the nib. But let me tell you, this thing writes beautifully. I'm going to call it the mystery pen. Just because I can't find the name of this thing. But let me tell you, folks, beautiful. So this thing was, hidden in the box, forgotten. And I might use it this week. We shall see. If I forgot place, I might add it in, or maybe next week. So I found that. Then I found this thing. Now this is a knockoff. Okay, look at this. I mean, and I apologize. Don't get offended. It was early on in my pen collections. I saw all these Mont Blancs being sold for $3, $4, and I ordered all of them. Okay, and I've got them in a box somewhere. But what I found was that the nib on this thing, I apologize, and I know some of you are going to write, you shouldn't do this, but I just couldn't help letting you know. So this is look at this. It's kind of a broad nib. And it just writes beautifully. And it's a beautiful pen to boot. But, it's a fake. There you have it. It's a fake. Thin, but you know what? You want to go out and write on a beach or in the middle camping, and you don't want to bring your expensive pens because you don't want to ruin them. You know what? You bring these things along. If you lose it, if you dump it in the river or leave it in the forest, no major loss here. So there you have it. Okay, but I just thought I'd show you what you can find in some old box that you think is forgotten. And I managed to find all those writing instruments, not fountain pens, but roller balls and ballpoints. And you know what? We'll put them to use, especially now that I'm doing kind of a rotation with them. Perfect. Anyway, thought I'd mention that. We'll be right back with my next segment. Okay, let's take a look at the currently inked. These are my currently inked this week. And a few surprises and a few disappointments, if you will. Although the disappointments I kind of was expecting. But I certainly had some very nice, pleasant surprises as well. As I mentioned, we'll kind of use this notepad just to kind of test it and see how it performs. And I'll be able to recognize whether or not we're dealing with the actual real Tomoe River. These Pilot Metropolitans, I'm kind of giving up on because they dry up on me. Let me just see if this still works. It's not bad, actually. What am I writing? No, it's a Pilot. Not bad, actually, with a stub. This paper doesn't have that feel of Sanson, so far so good. This thing surprised the hell out of me. I knew I had one somewhere, the Pilot Kakuno. I don't think I used this ever until this week. But man, am I missing something. We talk about cheap, Chinese pens, and that we... What about this one? This is not expensive, and it's a Pilot. Take a look at this, folks. Wow. This is a fine nib. At least I think it is. Let me just check. No, it's a medium. I used it all week in my agenda, because in my agenda I need a finer nib. I couldn't use this big monster in my agenda. It was just too broad of an ink. It was making a mess. So pleasantly surprised with this Pilot Kakuno. Let me see if this... I liked this when we inked it, but it's got a similar nib to the Metropolitan. This is the Pilot Prera. And this one has a fine nib. But, after a week, it's still writing. Very nice. I never really got the occasion of using this one. This is a 78G. And it's got these huge double broad stub, which is a lot of fun. Does it write? Yeah, it writes. It's kind of drying up already. But not bad. It's a fun pen. And then, of course, I've got my, the real things, as they say. This is the Pilot Custom 74. And what's special about this is the music nib. Okay. I did want to show you this one. Let me just see. I haven't used this. I like this kind of the Plumix. See if it dries up. Still good. Is it Plumix or Plume? Yeah, Plumix. It's got a stub steel number 5 nib. It's drying up on me. Oh, here we go. Use this pen a lot. Not in my journal or in my agenda because it was just too broad. But I took some notes, and hopefully it'll still have some. Let me just see if it still has ink. Yeah, not bad. I call it the holy pen. I mean, I know some of you mentioned, oh, Vincenzo, you could get the, the white one without the, the etching and the name. Oh, I realize that, but I wanted it with the Pope's name. I find it's nice. It makes it a limited edition. Others said, you know what? I like the flat top, but I don't like the white. But you know what? They have it in black and they have it in burgundy. So if you like the flat top, but don't want the white color, then it's available. Not a problem. It is a big pen. One viewer kind of trashed me because he said I should be ashamed myself because, this is a copy. I'm not sure what it's a copy of. I guess it could be a copy of a Sailor, because of the flat top. But I don't think there are any Mont Blancs that look like this. The only pens that look like this, in my view, and they're certainly not that big, perhaps the Namiki, the Pilot Custom Marushi kind of looks like this, but there are differences. So you know what, viewer, what I told him, I said, look, don't get nasty. There's no point in getting personal. He's expressed his opinion, and I understand. But, you know, you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. Simple. Pilot. You know, a custom Marushi going to cost me $1,400. This thing cost me $50. And it gives me fountain pen therapy. This is what, the 742. And I decided that I want some pilots with normal nibs, without the flex nibs, like this 820, 823. But this is a broad, so I want to get a much finer nib. Oh, there's no more ink. Oh, yeah, I used this quite a bit. Quite a bit. Yeah, there's no more ink. That's okay. We'll fill it up with Éclat de Saphir. Here we go. That's okay. I'm a little disappointed with this Pilot Falcon. I don't have much use for this. It's just scratchy, and I don't know how to get the flex out of it. You know, you got to be able to use it so that it springs back. I mean, I wanted to have it in my collection, but I got to tell you, I just don't know what to do with it. So it's too bad. And of course, this reliable 95S. I didn't use it much though. Ooh. It's kind of, or E95, I think it is. It's kind of drying up on me there. Okay. There you have. So those were, let me just put that back, my currently inked for this week. Stay tuned. I'm going to think about this, and I'll show you what my weapons will be for next week. Okay. Weapons for next week. Well, we've seen these. I'm going to test this thing out, the B25, the Majon B25 gel pen. I think it's a gel ballpoint, or maybe even a roller ball. I'm going to use this pencil that we looked at earlier, and you see it just fell apart. Look at this. Garbage, in any event. Okay, so that one. And I'm going to use this as a pocket pen for next week. And what are we going to add to this? Well, first of all, let me just take out my notebook again. What do we got? First one, I think I'm going to call it the Majon week, because I will be inking up that P140. I won't be ink it up right away. But first of all, we've got this. This is the Majon or Moon Man. I think this is the C4 with a Moon Man stub 1.1. Very nice pen. Then I'm going to be, this is the, and let me just get my notes because I keep forgetting. It's hard to follow all these pens. I think this is the C2. No, it's the C1. So this is the Moon Man, because it's an older pen. C1, and it's got a Bach fine nib. Beauty of this pen is that no matter how long I have it, it never dries up. Never dries up on me. Then I have this C5 that people hate and that I love. It's a demo, and it's got a Moon Man Just an exquisite movement. Medium nib. Number 6. Beautiful pen. And by the way, people don't like the design, but the design is a copy of the Ancora. There's an Ancora pen that looks exactly like this. So that's my next pen. As I mentioned, we will be inking up for my review, so it'll find itself. This is the P140 that I just got, so that will find itself in the repertoire. This P139, and this is the medium. Yeah, this is the medium. So this is the Mahjong. It's just beautiful. P139, number 8, steel, medium nib, and it's got a little bit of bounce. So, enjoyable pen. That's going in there. And this, I believe, is also a medium, but it writes like a fine. Maybe the ink. You can see it. Look at the difference. And I think it's just because of the ink. Number 8. Steel. Medium. It just writes like a fine. So there you have it. And what else have I got? Another pen that people love to hate. The test tube pen, I call it. This is the Mahjong. Okay, now what number is this one? V1. It has a Bobby .07 stub. So there you have it. Good. Now, I did ink up this one, but the nib on this thing was awful, by the way. The original, it's kind of one of these older Moonman or Moonman nibs, just awful. So what I did is I replaced the nib with a lemon nib. Whoa, let me just, okay, here we go. Wow, this is not, okay. With a lemon nib. Let's see how it writes. This is, I think, the Moonman. Yeah, this thing. Sorry, I tried to get it to work. That's the problem with these cartridges, you know. Never liked cartridges for that reason. It kind of hit and miss. This thing's been lying down, you know, this way for I don't know how long. Yes, I did change the nib. Tried to prime it. You know, dip it in water a little bit, see if kind of capillary action gets going, and I'm getting nothing out of this pen. So far, I've been very disappointed with this thing. But, you know, we'll leave it there. So what I've chosen to do instead is, first of all, I have this, what is it, the P136, I believe. So this is the Mahjong P136, and I've got that Jerbain Vert. What do they call? Empire. I was right. It is a very dry ink. I've got, this is a stub, and it's not coming down with any punch at all. Very dry. It's kind of more on the lighter side. So that's, where's my cap? Here it is. Here we go. The next one is Éclat de Saphir. I've put in this, this is a beautiful pen, folks. I mean, I recommend this, and I keep forgetting the number, but this is the, yeah. Oh, it was that the one, is this the 138? I forget what it is. Or maybe it's, no, it's the 136, except this is titanium version. This is the Mahjong. Beautiful. So it's P136, but it's the titanium version with Jacques Urbain. éclat de saphir. Yeah, very nice. It's got that lemon nib, this one, so completely different feel in terms of ink. Very nice. Yeah, so that kind of rounds up my weapons, or my weapons for this week. Here we go. That's it. We'll have some fun with those, and we'll come back next week and make some comments. So stay tuned for my next segment. Okay, so for my next segment is the YouTube reviews. What have I got for you? Well, nothing exciting in terms of other reviews that I would like to recommend to you. There's one, however. I discovered this brand new, for me, brand new, this new reviewer. It's a Spanish reviewer, but, he's got subtitles, and, I think now they have a tool where you can get the automatic translation. By the name of El Placer de la Escritura, Spanish fellow. He reviewed and compares the P139 and the P140. Very, very interesting. So I'm going to start following this gentleman, and maybe I'm going to even reach out, and hopefully he'll see this shutout, and I'm going to follow. So now we've got an Italian, we've got a French, and I've got Italians, I've got French, and now we've got Spanish. So that's something I wanted to mention. Second is, I'm going to put up on the screen, I mentioned this earlier, Shanghai Knife Dude, in his post, talks about kind of put up to date the listing of all the pens that are in the pipeline. He mentioned this Ongdian Han. It's going to be released in July of 2025, I guess, in the North American market. It's there's an Ongdian Titanium Series, 4 models, including a number 8 piston. One of it is the T1, which was already released. Okay, he talks about this P140. Okay, this is a Mont Blanc fake that he doesn't recommend anybody to order. And then he talks about the P139. He also talks about the Asvine C2000 Ebonite and the Majon V60 in the demo version. And here is the leak of the Ongdian Han. So here it is. That looks like a real beauty of a pen, if you like those kind of things. But I thought that I would mention that. So that's a Shanghai Knife Dude. And in terms of my own activity, well, you saw my new Yunlai or Wing Sung 930 in that ivory finish, the holy pen dedicated to Pope Francis. I think the next week I'm probably going to be doing that Majon P140 that we just purchased. It just came in. I'm going to do the review this weekend, and I think Wednesday you can expect that one. And then here it is. I've got a series of others that are yet to be published because there's always something new. And so all of these get kind of pushed back. But there you have it. That's in terms of YouTube reviews. Now, in terms of Q&A, there was one of my viewers mentioned to me that, and I'll go to my overhead camera because you need to see this. Sorry, here we go. And maybe even close up. Yeah. He mentioned that when I write, I have a tendency to kind of twist my nib. So, my nib is never in the right position. And I said to myself, I wonder if that's why I hate this Lamy 2000. Now, many viewers have mentioned that this Lamy 2000 has got a sweet spot, and if you don't get to that sweet spot, then you're not going to write well with this pen. So I said, well, let me be more conscious of how I twist my pen and see if but you know, there again it skips. Is it me? Maybe that viewer can take a look and he can tell me whether it's me or it's this nib. I hate this pen. Look at that, it skips. I thought I figured it out, but it skipped there again. Nah, I just, this pen and the other one I have great difficulty using for some reason. This is a Mont Blanc Le Grand Solitaire, beautiful pen. But it's early on in my years, in my collection years, and I think I put like an oblique double broad on this thing. I just can't write with it. So next, if I ever see a Nibmeister, I'm going to ask him to work on this nib for sure. But this is the Mont Blanc. And here, again, if I don't get the sweet spot, but this one I managed to kind of control now. I think I've learned how to write with it, but not that Lamy 2000. And again, with this pen, I'm trying to pay attention to how my nib is positioned. In this case, there's a little bit of an oblique, so I have to, make sure I use that oblique. So there you have it. Anyway, thought interesting comment from the viewer. I'm going to try to pay attention to how I, twist my nib. Except all I can say is that all the other pens that I enjoy are not as finicky as these two. That's all I can say. So there you have it. There you have it, folks. Didn't have the same energy today, folks. Sorry about that. I think that golf game kind of just exhausted me completely, and I had to get this done. So, but there you have it. I think you have quite a bit of variety there that I've shown you. Have a great week. By the way, I need you guys to subscribe. I've noticed in my analytics that I've got about 45% of you who view but don't subscribe. Please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I want to see if I push the subscription, whether or not I'm going to, I just want to get my numbers up a little bit. It kind of encourages me. So please, if you view this, there's a lot of work that goes involved. Just subscription is easy. You don't pay for it. A lot of people think that there's an obligation. No, what it does is that next time I publish a video, you'll get notification that I've put something up. So that's really it. You're not being charged anything. And if you get fed up with me, you can always unsubscribe. So there you have it. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. Have a great week. Enjoy your pens, your inks, and your paper. And get out there. It's spring. It's almost summer. The weather is still kind of not cooperating here in Montreal. But you know what? It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Take care. Ciao.